Welcome to the RIMM podcast, episode 63. Before I dive in, I want to happy birthday to your twins girls.
Thank you so much.
They are beautiful.
Thank you.
And where we bring you insightful conversation with experts from various fields. Today, we are thrilled to have Rajan Joshi, a criminal defense attorney from Joshi law firm, join us for a discussion on the legal system and criminal defense. If you ever get in trouble, you know who to call. With the years in experience in the field, Rajan has successfully represented the clients in a wide range of cases and has earned reputation for fighting tirelessly for his clients. I see this guy on social media day and night, traveling, interviewing by Dr. Phil's, all top stations. And we are excited to hear his insight on the legal system and the challenges that he has faced as a criminal defense attorney over the years. So stay tuned. He will give us so much information, good information. So without further ado, let's jump right into a conversation with Rajan Joshi. Sir, thank you so much. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
I've been looking for this interview for a while.
I've been looking forward to it.
Tell us a little bit about yourself before we dive into the questions. Who you are, where you coming from, why do you decide to become a criminal defense attorney?
My name is Rajan Joshi. I've been practicing now over 23 years, going on 24 this year. I started out as a state prosecutor for 4 years. I did that to get trial experience. After working at the state attorney's office for 4 years, I ended up going into private practice, working at a big firm in Jacksonville, then coming over to Orlando and becoming partners with Mark Nejame at Nejame Law.
Nice.
And then in 2015, I branched out and opened up Joshi Law. And we have grown tremendously right now. We are 5 lawyers, and the lawyers range between 10 to 32 years experience, and all have tremendous backgrounds.
And I just can tell you one thing, that you brought 5 attorneys. They're probably one of the top attorneys in the state of Florida. You might have 100 attorneys, but not as much as a qualification as they are, right?
These attorneys are tremendous. The least experience has 10 years, and she's got a master's in law, not just a law degree, but a master's from Georgetown. I got another one with 18 years experience who is board certified in criminal defense. That means the Florida bar recognizes her as an expert in criminal law.
There's only 1% of them, right?
2% of
2%.
lawyers
Oh, wow.
are board certified. It's very hard to get.
Wow.
I have another lawyer with 20 years experience who was the chief assistant at the state attorney's office in Orange and Osceola County. That means she was the top prosecutor. Everyone had she oversaw 165 prosecutors. Then I got another attorney with 32 years experience, with state and federal experience, and he has argued and won cases in the United States Supreme Court. And he was personally responsible for having the death penalty declared unconstitutional back in 2013.
Oh my God! And I know you said one thing, that you have the prosecutor that was the toughest on you. Instead of fighting with her, you brought her to work with you.
Yes. The one who was the chief assistant, 15 years ago, we had a case against each other, and we battled it out in court. And I have never met somebody who had the same energy level I did in court.
Oh my God.
Usually I overwhelmed my opponents, but she had it, and she was tough. And we ended up getting a stalemate on the case. And when I was looking to grow, she was one.
So you find Rajan number 2.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so my first question, what inspired you to become a criminal defense attorney?
I would always watch shows on TV or movies, and I'd see the criminal defense attorney. I was like, man, that's what I want to do. That looks so exciting. And I felt like it's something I could do and help people. When I was in law school, that was my heart was in criminal defense. I took all criminal law classes. I got the book award in criminal procedure, which is the highest grade. And then I interned at both the state attorney's office my second year and my last year in law school. And I just found it so fascinating. You know, it's because the criminal defense attorney is the only check you have on the government and the only check you have on the police.
Correct.
For the most part, police are good people, but they make mistakes. And people can end up getting railroaded if they are not properly represented. And that's where I feel so passionate about my job, is I make sure the Constitution is being respected and being implemented for the individuals.
Nice. So what qualities are necessary to be successful criminal defense attorney? I know a lot, but being on the top, it's not easy.
One of the most important things is work ethic.
Okay.
Work ethic. I mean, if I have a case and I need to prepare, I'll work till midnight. I'll work weekends. I'll work holidays. I don't care. Whatever it takes to be prepared. And some attorneys don't have that same drive. And I look to only having attorneys who have that drive and that gratification in the work. Because there's so much gratification when you do a good job.
If you cannot beat them, outperform them, right?
Yes.
Third question, what are some of the biggest challenges you face when defending a client in a criminal cases? Either on the state, I believe federal level is much tougher, like the corporal punishments. What is one of the toughest thing that clients has to go through and you have to, as a defense attorney, what challenges?
One of the toughest challenges is that the clients are coming to you at the worst time of their lives. They're coming to you and they're saying, "Help me," and and they're scared. So part of my job is to hold their hand, to be there for them, to make sure that their phone calls are returned, and to fight for them, to let them know, to keep them, to communicate with them. And every case is different.
Of course.
So what may have worked in one case may not work in this case. So one of the challenges as a criminal defense attorney is to be adaptive and to out-strategize your opponent, and use the experience I had in the last case, but then see what I have to do different in these particular facts.
My little twist.
A lot of twists, a lot of
twists,
turns. But the most important thing is doing the best job.
Nice. So in your experience over the years, what sets successful defense attorney apart from an unsuccessful one? The reason many young kids go to become an attorneys. We go to law school. Law school is considered as a luxurious, right? It's luxurious, not everybody goes there. A lot of them ending up doing something else because maybe they're not being equipped enough, maybe guide through, some of them just get the grades, maybe they are good at taking the grades and being good, but that doesn't mean they are good working with the clients. End of the day, when you finish a law school, you have to be able to communicate with the clients, and not many of them have that. So what separates you apart from others?
One of the most important things to be a successful criminal defense attorney is having trial experience. Having been in the courtroom. When I was a prosecutor for 4 years, I was trying cases. I was trying and winning cases. I ended up getting the jury trial award back in 2003 for trying the most cases of any prosecutor in the entire office, and that was 3 different counties. And I won every one of those cases. And then as a defense attorney, I would, if the state was trying to give my client unnecessary punishment, I would fight the case. And with that experience now, the prosecutors know which defense attorneys will try cases and who knows how to try cases. So that is what really makes the separation, that and work ethic. Because nowadays you have lawyers on TikTok, you have them on social media, they market, but the most important thing is what can they do in the courtroom? And when you come with that reputation that you're willing to fight, then you usually get the better results, because the prosecutor knows the best kind of war to win is the one they don't have to fight in the first place. And if I come in there and I've already torn down their case, and we're to talk about negotiations, I'm going to do it from a position of strength, not weakness.
Okay, so basically if I'm a client looking for a defense attorney, make sure I look up somebody who went through trials and being a prosecutor on the other side before they become a defense attorney or not.
Either, a good place to get trial experience is either at the state attorney's office or the public defender's office. But, there's attorneys out there who are taking on cases who have never tried cases or who have tried very few cases. I think the most important thing is to ask the defense attorney, how many trials have you had?
Correct. So Other question, how do you balancing advocating for your client's interest while working with the law's confines?
The way I look at it is, we've got parameters. It's like it's like in a game. You've got rules, and as a defense attorney, you've got to work within those parameters. You've got to work within those rules. And I find that if you chip away at almost any case, 99% of them have a weakness, and you focus on that weakness, and you break the case down. And sometimes the courts may change the law, and that changes how we have to proceed on a case. They may change the law unfavorable to us, but all we do is adapt, and we push through, and we chip away at the other weaknesses we find in the case.
Okay, so works on. So, can you share a particular challenging or a memorable case that you have worked on so hard but stick with you for the rest of your life?
Yes. About maybe 16 years ago, I had a young client, 21 years old, who had committed a robbery with two other co-defendants. They broke into our house. They ended up shooting one of the owners of the house. The other one got tased and beaten up, and they robbed the house, took a bunch of items, and they were driving away. And the call was out to the police that someone got shot, and be a lookout for a black Mercedes. The police were arriving to the area. They see a black Mercedes. They pull it over. They pull everyone out at gunpoint. They find all the stolen items. They find the gun. My client was the shooter, and he was looking at 25 years to life, 25 years minimum. And I had this case, and the other two people in the car agreed to testify against him and get prison time, short prison time. So what I did is I had to look. I couldn't just let my client go away for 25 years. So I started investigating the stop, and I took a deposition of the officer who stopped my client. And I said, so you pulled him over for, the call was a black Mercedes. Did you know whether it was a two-door Mercedes, four-door Mercedes? No, it was black Mercedes. He didn't have any license plate number, Now, the car was pulled over half a mile.
So no specifications?
No specifications. So I went and I pulled all the DMV records for all the black Mercedes that there were in the Tri-County area. There were thousands.
Oh
I went to the neighborhood and saw that the houses were like $600,000-$700,000. So Mercedes aren't uncommon. And then I argued to the judge that the stop violated my client's Fourth Amendment rights because they stopped the Mercedes. It could have been any Mercedes. They got the right Mercedes.
Yes.
But they should have had more, more descriptive definition before pulling it over. The judge agreed and threw out all the evidence.
Oh, wow.
So these other two individual co-defendants who had, not as aggressive attorneys went to prison. My client never did a day.
Oh my gosh! Wow, wow. So wow.
And I'll say this: my client is doing very good. Opened up 3 businesses, has not been arrested.
So changed his life.
Changed his life,
Wow,
and that's very rewarding.
Yes, it is. Wow. So how do you handling the cases where you feel your client is guilty of the charges they are facing? You just touch a little bit on that, and then I want to attach another question. And what advice would you give to someone facing criminal charges and seeking legal representation?
If a client's guilty, to me, my job is to defend. My job is to uphold the Constitution and hold the state to their burden, hold it to their responsibility. If you're going to go after my client, you better have the evidence. You better have what is needed. And if not, then then justice works. Because it's better to let a guilty guy go free than have 10 innocent people be wrongfully convicted. And I feel like my job is to keep that check on the government. And to somebody who's looking for a criminal defense attorney, the best advice I can give them is find an attorney who has trial experience. Do not just go for the person who talks very good, because I've seen attorneys that end up in court and they are getting butchered by the prosecutors. The judges are on them because they don't know the procedures. They don't know the rules of evidence. And so it's one thing to be able to talk outside of court. It's another when you're actually in the fire.
Yeah, they say that's one of the most hectic thing in the courts.
One of the most exciting parts of my job. I love it.
For you, but for a lot of people, it's the scary and the fear. Final question, what do you believe sets your approach to criminal defense apart from an attorney's in your field, not just any other field, but just the reason I keep asking this question is because if somebody looking for a criminal defense attorney is not just watching, but it's like, what else? You keep repeating, you know, repetitive sessions become a habit, right? So what else you can add up that you have already not add to your qualification? And I know you are well qualified, but what else?
Well, I think what sets us apart from other criminal defense attorneys is we do the work.
Okay.
We go into the case. There's a lot of criminal defense attorneys, and I hate to talk bad about any other attorneys, but who just take a case and they try and cut a deal. And I think
mediate?
They will just try to work the case out. They don't try and do the best they can for the client.
Okay.
What we do is we go through the full discovery. We'll do depositions. We'll file the appropriate motions. And if need be, we'll fight the case in trial. We love it. And, you know, I have the most skilled and experienced attorneys at my law firm. You know, I hold people to a very high standard, and I only work with the best. And we all work together, we collaborate, and we come with different experiences. Some have tremendous amounts of federal experience along with state. Others have a lot of experience in the prosecution. Others have experience at the state or federal public defender's
So
office.
well diversified.
Diversified, and we work together. We sit down and we brainstorm, and we try to come up with the best solution for every client.
My last question will be in a particular clientele. If the client gets stopped or whatever, you know, for any reason, searches, police, or whatever, what they should do by the state of Florida laws, not to be criminalized or maybe misrepresent, what they should do. If I'm driving and I've been stopped by police officer, whatever, some kind of criminal, they think it's but which is not. What they should do, what would their reaction so that somebody behind the wheel should, and how they should follow the laws?
One thing is they shouldn't resist the police. That's just going to escalate the situation. But at the same time, whether or not they are guilty of a crime, never talk to them. You know, just give them the general information. If they want to know anything, where you're coming from, how much you had to drink, do you have anything in the car, just say, I don't want to talk to you. And if they ask if they can search the car, never give them consent. Don't make the police officer's job easier. Now, if they still search the car, don't resist them. Let them search. If they find something and it's an illegal stop, then you hire a good attorney. They're going to get the evidence thrown out, like I did with that case in the black Mercedes.
Okay. So now my last and most beautiful question is like, look it up in the camera and say anything you want to say that you have now already said.
If you are arrested or a suspect in a criminal case, call us at Joshi Law. I've got a tremendous amount of legal experience and the best, most qualified criminal defense attorneys across the state, and we practice all across the state. You can find us at joshi.law or 1-8444-GO-JOSHI. And also at 407-661-1109. And
one more thing I want to add up, you're just going to buy an energy that you have. You have the energy and aggression, and that's one of what the criminal defense attorney should look for. It. So
thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, again.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure interviewing you. Looking forward for so many down way in the road, virtual, bringing your possibly your wife as a doctor, start combining doctor, legislators together, so we can build a community together. So
we'd be honored.
Thank you, guys. This was episode 63. I'm a host, Igor Spasic, and this is a special criminal defense attorney, Rajan Joshi from the Joshi Law Firm, owner. Please, we'll have all of his information on our website and on the link. And if you ever get in trouble, you know who to call. Thank you, sir, again. I appreciate you, and happy the new and the rest of the year to you and your family.
Thank you. You
Looking
too.
forward having a couple interviews down way in the road with you. Thank you so much.